Deadline day less than a week away now. So you'd expect to hot up after what's been a very quiet window. So let's get some updates on what might be happening with talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Crookie, hope you're well, mate. I hope you're not getting paid by the transfer.
Good morning. No, that wouldn't be positive at all, would it? Dank and dreary down here on the south coast, by the way. So I feel your pain, but you're right. In terms of completed deals, if you take Manchester City out of the equation, it's still been a relatively quiet January. I think we probably expected that because, of course, there's a lot of clubs who are battling PSR issues. I think this extended European season is also having an impact because obviously we've got big games in the Champions League and the Europa League this week, and I think overseas sides are reluctant to let their best players go all the time. They've still got a chance of keeping their European season alive. So I think with that in mind, it could be quite a frantic end to the window.
So it's interesting, isn't it, that the hottest property at the moment, the most in-demand player, appears to be a striker who's scored 2 league goals since October 2023, and that's Evan Ferguson. I've heard West Ham, Everton, even Arsenal are all interested. So what's the truth, Crookie?
Yeah, Arsenal on loan can't happen unless they were to terminate the loan of Raheem Sterling or Neto, the goalkeeper from Bournemouth, because you're only allowed 2 domestic loans at any one time. And I checked in with people close to Sterling and at Bournemouth yesterday, and at the moment, there's no plans for either of those players to go back to their parent clubs. So it would have to be a permanent deal for Arsenal, which I think, given Evan Ferguson's lack of goals and his injury record, as much as he has admirers, I think that probably is unlikely. Certainly Bournemouth, without a first-choice striker, doesn't seem to make a difference in terms of winning and scoring goals, but they've registered an interest. Everton, desperate for goals, are in for him as well. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is facing another layoff, so their need maybe becomes more desperate. But in terms of Evan Ferguson, I think if he does go, West Ham in the box seat because he has that pre-existing relationship with Graham Potter. So that's the one that I'm keeping closest attention to. In terms of strikers, the other player is in demand, and a different end of the spectrum in terms of the goals he scored this season of Ferguson is Jhon Duran. I think he's certainly one we're going to be keeping tabs on between now and next Monday. 80 million, I think, is the magic figure. If any club get to that, then Aston Villa would be tempted to cash in, and Chelsea are amongst those potential suitors. And there could be a domino effect there because we know that Unai Emery is a massive fan of João Félix. They pay £45 million for him. Hasn't really done it in terms of the Premier League, hasn't had too many opportunities. So I wonder if there's a potential part exchange deal to be had there.
Craig, just on that subject, an interesting one. So from Villa's point of view, is it quite safe to say now that if any of the strikers are going, it isn't Watkins, it is Duran?
I think so. I mean, there was a bit of interest, I think, from the likes of Manchester United in Ollie Watkins in previous windows, but obviously they're setting their sights elsewhere. I think there's always been a little bit of a frosty relationship between Unai Emery and Jhon Duran. That's why clubs have felt that he is gettable and possibly they could prize him away. He's a real maverick, isn't he? But obviously that brings a certain temperament to the party as well.
I've seen Tyler Dibbling at Southampton linked quite a lot with Tottenham at the moment. He's a wonderful young talent. Is he what Tottenham would need?
I think it fits the profile of building for the future. I'm not sure that the Tottenham fans want to build for the future. I think they want the here and now, bearing in mind that they're in a good position in the Europa League and they've got the second leg of a EFL Cup semi-final to come. But Tyler Dibbling is on the radar of a lot of clubs, Manchester United, Newcastle, maybe even his former side, Chelsea. Went there for a bit and didn't work out, got a bit homesick, ended up back at Southampton. And I know that Jurgen Klopp and the Red Bull group are pushing very hard on Dibbling as well. I don't see Southampton letting him go in this window, but I think if they go down, and let's be honest, they're down already, I think it's inevitable that he'll go in the summer.
Another couple of names that getting thrown about might be on the move is Lens player Kevin Danso, potentially going to Wolves. Crookie and Axel Disasi at Chelsea might be on the move.
Yeah, this deal for Danso has been revived in the last 24 hours. The trial had gone cold because I think they were looking for a left-footed centre-back. He's right-footed, to the best of my knowledge, Kevin Danso. But talks have resumed. 20 million euros is the fee that Lens are asking for. I think Wolves are trying to negotiate down for that, but they're looking to back Vitor Pereira. And they're one of a couple of clubs interested in Axel Disasi. Aston Villa as well, obviously looking for a new centre-back. And I think his preferred destination would be Villa. He's someone that Chelsea are willing to let go in this window. I think as much as they're they're always on the lookout to strengthen the squad, Chelsea. I think there's a bit of trimming to be done as well. The likes of Kieran Dewsbury Hall and Kane Chukwuemeka have suitors, so we could see a few departures from Stamford Bridge.
Anything on Marcus Rashford?
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Barely dared mention the words.
Running the risk of going over old ground.
I tell you what, if I'm not a rich man, if I was paid talking about completed transfers, I'd be a rich man if I got paid handsomely every time Marcus Rashford's name came up. It looks quiet at the moment, and he put a post out on social media congratulating his United teammates on that win against Fulham. So I think he's trying to re-ingratiate himself, if not with Ruben Amorim, then certainly with the Manchester United supporters. He wants to go to Barcelona. I think that's been pretty clear since the start of the window, but very difficult deal to do. They're not financially in a brilliant position. They'd have to lose players in order to facilitate that move. And speaking of Terry Gibson, our Spanish expert, he's never really been quite sure where Marcus Rashford would fit in at the Camp Nou, and there's no point in him leaving United if he's going to swap one set of stands for another.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.